Hello, welcome to Aussie Yarning. This is episode 31 and today is Sunday, the 6th of April. I didn't think I was going to record this week, but I had so much trouble with last week's recording. And part of it, I think, was because it was much longer, although I don't understand that because I've had episodes that were longer than that and didn't cause me any trouble. But yes, it was much longer. And it caused me no end of frustration. I uploaded that podcast 8 times and it kept failing. I finally worked out that it was too long, so I whatever it is that you do to a podcast to make it smaller, compacted it, whatever, uploaded it again, and it still failed, and then it failed, and then it failed. I got it up to YouTube and it said that it finished, but it wasn't showing on my YouTube page, but it was showing on Google+. And I thought I've done something wrong, so I uploaded it again to YouTube. It still didn't come up on my page, but it came up on Google+ a second time. So I have no idea what went wrong last week, and I was over it. So I had to just put a note saying you can see it here and give you the link for it, and I hope that everyone who wanted to watch it was able to watch it. If you haven't been able to watch it, I'll make sure again that the link is okay within the Ravelry group that says episode 30, that the link is there, that it will take you to YouTube. Probably nowhere else. Sorry if you don't like YouTube. It's the best I can do at the moment. So, having said all of that, that's the reason I'm recording again this week, because I figured if I record more often, it won't be as long, and hopefully it won't cause me the same heartache, and we'll all be happy. But added to that is that during the week, I had a message from my friend Becca in America, who said that she was watching a podcast on a program called Podcast Garden, and that Podcast Garden actually feeds into iTunes. And Podcast Garden only costs $29.95 for a 12-month subscription. So I'm investigating it. I've thought what I did was upload an episode, but it didn't show up, and someone said maybe I need to pay first, and I don't particularly want to pay until I finish with WordPress. So I will play the game. I think you can pay monthly, so I might pay 1 month's subscription just to make sure that the podcast will go up and that it's working and going into iTunes. Once I know that, as soon as I finish with WordPress, then I'll go into Podcast Garden. So that's an interesting piece of information for anyone else who is podcasting and having trouble with Blip and Downcast and everything else that causes trouble. For $30 a year, you can get it onto Podcast Garden, and it goes to iTunes. So it might be solving the problem for everybody as they start to hear that information. I don't mind still uploading it to YouTube, that's okay. I just needed to get something cheaper for my website type uploading. So I think that's all there is to say about that. So just quickly to let you know, my health is excellent. Thank you, everyone. I have improved out of sight. Apart from the hot flushes that are still traumatizing me, I am healthy in every other respect. So thank you for everyone for your best wishes. And yes, it feels good to be healthy again. The other good news that I've got from this week, a lot of you don't know, probably only my close friends that I've talked to on VKNs, is that we have been trying to sell our motorhome for nearly 2 years. When we moved into this house, we bought this house specifically for the purpose that we'd have enough money left over to buy a beautiful motorhome and we could travel around Australia. Well, we did, I think, 3 trips. And my husband decided he really didn't like travelling around Australia anymore. His idea of travelling is to drive constantly, stop at a spot, see what beauty it's got to show, and then drive again. My idea of travelling around Australia is to drive to a spot, stop for a week, knit your little heart out, move on to the next spot, stop, knit your little heart out, and spend 12 months doing that. So obviously our two desires for travel didn't meld together very well. So in the end we decided to sell the motorhome and get it out of our hair, but that wasn't as easy as we had thought it would be. So for 2 years we've been trying to sell this thing, and it's massive. So for some time it sat in somebody's yard on a farm, and then for 12 months, or over 12 months, it sat in a caravan car sales yard, or a caravan sales yard. Sat there for 12 months, didn't sell, mainly because the car sales yard wanted their huge profit on top of what we wanted for it, so it didn't sell. So in the end they said, no, this isn't going to sell, take it away. So we brought it back home, we did a few repairs on it, and somebody saw our ad and rang up about it, and they loved it, and they came last Friday and they bought it, and they've gone home very, very happy, I hope. And we're very happy because now the money's in the bank. So that was another exciting thing that happened this week. Typical of me, I worry about a lot of things, and so I'm sitting here waiting for a phone call from them saying, this has gone wrong and that's gone wrong and you've sold us a lemon, and that really worries me. But I know that we haven't sold a lemon. I know it was an excellent quality motorhome. We spent a lot of money getting it up tip-top condition before they came and picked it up. So I've just got to stop worrying about things like that and trust that they're very happy with it. So that was the week in review and my excitement, my news. And I've had several things arrive this week. I have huge confessions. But the first thing that is not a confession, because we all knew it was going to happen, was my dye finally arrived for the test on my Hexie blanket. So I'm a bit confused because it tells me I've got to boil it for 30 to 40 minutes, and I didn't think you could boil wool. So I'm waiting to talk to Fiona tomorrow night on our VKN and to ask her all the advice I need to have in order to put this blanket into something and to boil it and to see if it's going to work. So that's exciting because hopefully the blanket will turn out beautiful and then I can still give it to my younger son. All right, so the exciting thing is that this is the first podcast of April, and therefore I'm doing the Yazzie giveaway draw. Now, I need a phone. No, I don't need a phone. I think I've got... Oh dear, this wasn't very well organised, was it? I think I have a random number generator on my iPad. Now, we had... from 1 to 13 in entries, and the first one was mine, so I want to go from 2 to 13. So I key in 2 and I key in 13. So let me just get rid of that. I think you can see there, can you? No, not very clearly, you can't see. 2 to 13. And I press generate. Did I do that wrong? No, I did it right. I didn't know whether I pressed it twice or not, but there's no second number coming up, so I must have pressed it once. Okay, so number 10. All right, having done that, now let's look at who number 10 is. And number 10 is Knittin' Smitten. Knittin' Smitten is it coming up? Is Lynn. So Lynn in Sydney. You're in Sydney, Lynn. Knittin' Smitten Lynn has won the knitting bag, and she says of her entry, I have a Yazzie bag for my straight needles, which is really useful. This bag looks good too. Have liked it on Facebook. Okay, so Lynn, you've won the knitting bag. And I know there's several other people who are very disappointed because they really hoped that they were going to win it. So this is the knitting bag, and lovely, big size. And Lynn, you just need to contact me with your postal address, and I'll get it out to you. So congratulations. Sorry, Becca, you didn't get it. I know you were hoping you would. All right, as I said, I've been a really bad girl this week, but we'll get on to what I've finished and what I've worked on, and then I'll really confess about the bad things I've done. But remember I showed you last week that I was knitting a little jacket out of the book 101 Patterns for Sock Yarn, and I had finished, I think at that stage I'd finished the 2 fronts and the back and had to do the sleeves. Well, it's finished, and there it is, and I'm thrilled with it. So there's the back in the moss stitch, which I really didn't think I could do, but I did. It finished very quickly. And the front is in the mitered squares, then the sleeves are done in stocking stitch, and the neck is done in garter stitch. So the whole thing is an item of textures, all different textures. I really don't know what size it is. I think it's a newborn. So I don't think it's going to be any good for my sister's new granddaughter, because by June she will be not quite 6 months old, so I don't think that will fit her. So I don't know. Don't know what I'm going to do with it. We'll see. The other thing that I've almost finished. Almost. I have worked on it all yesterday afternoon and all last night and this morning, thinking I will get it finished before I record. But because of the number of stitches for casting off, I was just running out of time, and I thought, I've just got to record now or I won't get it done. So I've had to stop. But what it is my Susanna IC shawl. Now this was originally a mystery shawl, and Fiona from A Down Under Yarn had done it while it was a mystery. And so Scaredy me waited until she'd finished it to decide if I really liked it and if I thought that I could do it. And I felt that I could. So this yarn is from Fiona. So Fiona is also the dyer of Solar Flare Fibres. And so I ordered the yarn from her, and this is the Amaterasu, whatever it is that. Whatever that is, I've never been able to say it properly. It is sea glass in the colourway, and it is 80% merino, 20% silk. There was 875 yards or 800 metres in the 100 gram, and I still have that much left. So that's a really large amount. I haven't weighed it yet, but there's a lot there. I could probably make one more. But anyway, I have finished it. I am just casting it off. So you can see at this point, and I'll better do it this way so you can see it better. Oh dear. There you go. Can you see the beads? They didn't show up nearly as well as I had hoped they would, but maybe when it's blocked, they will be a lot clearer to see. So you can see the part that I have cast off, and I still have all of this. There were 817 stitches. And I shouldn't complain, because when Fiona did hers, she did the bigger size, and she had something like 1,377 stitches to cast off. So yeah, a lot of stitches. So, what I've learned: do not do a lace pattern when you are sick, because your brain cannot comprehend. I can't believe the difference between finishing this now while I'm healthy and trying to do it when I was sick. My brain would not, like, each of the repeats was something like 12, 14 or 16 stitches. And you just did that same thing over and over again all the way across. I couldn't do it. I kept making a mistake all the time. And of course, I didn't put a lifeline in them, did I? So undoing it was a nightmare. And even then, undoing it while I was sick was a stupid thing to try and do, because I couldn't even undo it without making a mistake. So I left the whole thing till I felt better, and I've been working on it now for a little bit for the last couple of weeks, and finally got it finished. So I am thrilled with it. I will get it blocked this week, and then of course it's going to be much larger when it's blocked, and I'll show it to you again next week when it really is finished. I've got lots of beads left over as well, so I don't know how that all works. I know for the yarn, I had to buy the skein of yarn, and you needed that full skein if you were doing the large size, and I did the small size. So I understand I've got a lot of yarn left over, but I've got a lot of beads left over, and I don't know how I made that mistake, but that's okay. They'll come in handy for something else that I make, so I'm very, very pleased with that. So that's another finished object. They were the only two. No, there is a big finished object, and it is Michael's blanket. And I finished completely, all the ends sewn in. It is bound on the edges. Can you see the edge? And it is far too big to show you in. That's doubled over. So I might put in a picture here to show you the full length of it lying on the ground. The colours change enormously in the picture, but it's finished. So I contacted him and said, your blanket's finished, but you can't have it till after Sunday. So he understood that, and I'm sure he'll be up here tonight or tomorrow to pick his blanket up. And I'm really pleased that it's finished. I've been doing this for over 2.5 years. So, and when I showed it at Knitting Group the other day, and Linda said, we've never even seen the beginnings of that. And I said, no, because it's been hidden in the cupboard untouched for so long. So I'm so pleased that I've finally gotten it out and worked on it until it was finished. And I feel so good about accomplishing that. I can't believe how many things I've finished in the last 3 weeks. It's amazing when you actually get into something and get it finished instead of sitting it in the cupboard and ignoring it. And that's included starting new stuff as well. So it's amazing. It's brilliant. Okay, so they're my finished objects. And I'm not going to show the sock yarn blanket because that's been neglected. Not because I'm not liking it, I still love every moment of it, but I've been working on the other things, getting them finished, and so I felt it's okay to leave it for a little while and let it just sit there, and I'll come back to it soon. So I did do some yesterday, and probably some yesterday, and that was it. Yesterday was our monthly Stitch and Bitch at Wollombi. And I haven't been to Stitch and Bitch at Wollombi since November last year. So I was so excited to go. And it was so good to catch up with all my friends that I haven't seen for all of that time. It was really nice just sitting there and knitting with them again. And of course they all loved my blanket, my sock yarn blanket. And they all oohed and ahed over it and said, yes, they've got to make one too. So that made my day, made me feel really good. So while I was on my way to Stitch and Bitch, of course I had to call into the Wollombi wool store, didn't I? You can't be in Wollombi and not go and visit Judith. And I caught her just in time before she ended up at Stitch and Bitch as well. And I bought, I haven't even got them here. Let me just get them. Okay, let me show you what I bought. Some of you may have seen on YouTube a video that was just produced doing arm knitting, and the arm knitting was making a cowl, a really lovely cowl, in very large yarn. So I decided I had to do that too. Not that I want a cowl, I get quite hot, so I don't want something massive around my neck. But the girls at the Knitting Guild had asked me, could I do a demo or show them how to do hand knitting? And at first I thought, oh yeah, that's simple. I'll just show them how to do it. Just give them a little lesson and then not bother. But when I saw the video, I thought, well, that's a good way of really giving them a demo. And it required 4 balls of extra chunky yarn. So I bought this Rowan Big Wool, and this is in the colour of colour 52, obviously blue, and it's a reasonable representation of the colour there. So I needed 4 balls of that. I won't say how much the balls were. Judith does give me a discount, but they were still dear, so I've got 4 of those. Also, as you may remember from previous podcasts, I said that I was making a range of little animals, amigurumi animals, that my granddaughter Cassandra and I are working on a book. She's the creator of the book. I'm the creator of the little animals that are going to feature in this book. And some time ago I showed you the little caterpillar that I had made. I don't have it in here to show you. Where is it? Oh, it's in the lounge room. So I can't show that to you. But what did I do? The other day I decided I've got to really get into this. I can't keep putting it off. I've got to get the things crocheted so that we can then do the photography and get the finished story of the book, and then I can produce it. If you're interested for the future, I am using Stacey Trock's patterns. I was going to create all the animals myself, because Stacey Trock has done a video. Oh no, she's done a Craftsy class to teach you how to create or how to design your own monsters. So I did that course, plus I did it with her, or a little bit with her, when she came to Sydney. So I know now how to create something out of a vision of an animal or a creature of some sort. So I knew I could do that. But then I thought, why recreate the wheel when Stacey has already created all of these animals? So what I'm doing is I'm crocheting her animals, and when the book comes together, if you want to crochet the animals themselves to go with the book, then you just have to buy the pattern from Stacey. So that way we both get some sort of sales out of this venture, and I don't have to recreate the wheel. So that's the idea of it. Although I must admit, the caterpillar, I think, not sure if the caterpillar was from her or I created it, but anyway. So what I like to use for the little animals is Biggin Yarn. Biggin Yarn is an Australian, totally Australian made product, although Biggin herself is European. It is machine washable wool gentle cycle. It's DK Merino First Cross softest premium all Australian wool, and it is 105 metres per ball. So I needed lots of colours for the different animals that I'm making. So there's those. Oh, and that's another one, and I think I've got some others already here. So I bought all of those as well. Very expensive, but anyway, they'll all be beautiful when they're finished, and I know that they're made out of excellent quality yarn. So that was that purchase, but that wasn't my only purchase. When I had finished doing this, and I think I might have said to you, yeah, I did, last week, I was saying that I went on to Pearlwise website because Fiona had said that she'd bought opal yarn from there, and I thought, oh, I'll just go and have a look at what they've got. So I think I told you last week I had put 2 balls into my cart along with some needles, and then I thought, oh, Joyce, stop it, you don't need to buy this yarn. So I left it. And remember I said that I'd gone back in to see if the order was still in my cart, which was very clever. It was still in my cart, so that if I changed my mind, I could go back and buy it without having to rethink what I had ordered. Well, it was even cleverer than that. It sent me an email the next day saying, you didn't complete your order. Did you forget? Or do you still want to keep it? I thought, what a catch. Well done, Mark. So yes, I went back in and had another look. And I was a good girl. I cancelled one of the colours. I thought, no, I can't go and buy 2 of them. It was a bit naughty. So I bought one. And this is the opal that I bought. It is... Oh, why don't I have the cover? Oh, I don't have it in here. Sorry, so I can't tell you what colour it is. But it's gorgeous. So when I finished that one, I decided to start another one. It was so easy. It was so easy to knit together. It was so easy to put together. You only sewed up the side seams of the, like the fronts to the back and across the shoulder, and then you picked up the stitches around the sleeve and knit them out. So that was finished. You just picked up stitches for the front band around the neck. It was so easy to do. So I thought, yeah, I can make another one. And I thought, if I make it a little bit bigger, it might suit my sister's granddaughter. So I started to make the same pattern. But what I was disappointed about is that certain of these colourways repeat for a long time, and particularly this colour. It looks black, and I thought it was black, but it's actually a very deep green. And it's a beautiful colour, but it repeats for a long time. When I say that long, I mean if it was on a sock, it probably wouldn't, but I'm only doing very short rows. So when I started to do the panels of the mitered squares, I got to about here, went into the really dark green, and then the whole thing right up to here was dark green. So it just wasn't doing what the pattern needed to do. So I undid that, and I thought, all right, well, I'll just make it with straight knitting. I know that how many stitches I needed to go across for the front part, so I started to knit again. And this is the result. As you can see, the long dark green patch there, it was just too long. So I'm doing it this way, and I'm really liking the way it's coming out. But what I can't decide now is, do I want to match the left side with the right side, therefore start with this again and have the exact same pattern all the way up, or do I want to make it really random and just start knitting where I finished? And where I finished is probably a couple of, maybe 2 meters below, meters? Yeah, a couple of meters below this red. So it would mean that I'm starting with a different colour on this side, and the red would start up here, and then we'd repeat this. So I'm not sure. I know if I asked my granddaughter, she would say, no, you've got to start at the exact same spot because she's got to have it all lined up perfectly. Obviously the back isn't going to be the same anyway because it's many more stitches. So these colours are going to finish very quickly, and this one will only have half that amount in the stripes. I was going to knit the whole thing in one piece, but then I realised that while I'd have everything lining up perfectly, going all the way up, once I got to the sleeve where I had to decrease and separate the back from the fronts, then the back would be totally different to what the fronts were, and I thought, no, that's probably not nice either. So anyway, I've started. We'll see if I get it finished, and we'll see what it looks like when I get it finished, if I get it finished. So that was another purchase I made, along with some needles and some pins and stuff that I bought to make up to my $50. Yeah, oh, that's right. That's what made it up, was the needles, because they're $10 a set. Then, I think it was the night I ordered the yarn in the morning, and then that night I got an email from Laura Nelkin announcing her, that was on the Monday night, announcing her next mystery cowl. And I hadn't known anything about it. Evidently, everyone's known for months that this was starting. I hadn't heard a thing about it. And as I've said before, I don't particularly like mystery cowls because you might end up knitting something you really don't like. That's why I waited for Fiona to knit that other one of Susanna IC, because I wanted to find out what it looked like before I started. But something in me, I think it was this polygamy thing that was raging within me, said, yes, you want to do that, Joyce. So I had to go back to Pearlwise again, and I had to order some more yarn. And the yarn that I've chosen is Malabrigo in the sock, and it is exquisite. Isn't that beautiful? And again, it is knitted with beads, so I had to order my beads, which haven't arrived yet. I'm very frustrated because the knit-along started on the 1st of April. So the next clue is going to be coming out before I even get my beads to start the first clue, but that's okay. I don't mind waiting a little while. And I decided, because of the colours that are in here, I decided to choose shiny black beads. So they will really show up in this, and it'll make it a really nice evening shawl. Well, we don't know what it is. We don't know if it's a shawl or a cowl, or it's a mystery. So who knows? But I needed more than one skein, so I had to buy 2 skeins. Wasn't cheap. Actually, quite cheap really. Malabrigo, $22, 22 Australian dollars. Really, really cheap. So yeah, $44. I'll have lots and lots of yarn left over. So it'll do lots of other things when I finish. So that's the story I'm telling myself, and I'm sticking to it. So by next recording, I should at least have 1 or 2 clues finished to show you. Lots and lots and lots of people are doing the mystery shawl, and I was really pleased when I was telling my friend Deb about it in South Australia. She said, oh yeah, I'll do that too. So she had some Malabrigo, and she's ordering her beads, so she's in the same boat I am. She can't start till the beads arrive, and we'll be doing that together, and hopefully that'll make sure I finish it. So, oh, and to make up the order, I had to buy some more needles, didn't I? A couple more needles came home to me as well. So that was the extent of my being naughty, which I don't think was too bad. I haven't bought yarn in months, more than months, a long time since I bought yarn. So I was very pleased with myself that that was all that I bought. But I was just watching Fiona's latest podcast. That's a Down Under Yarn with Fiona Fifikins. And her and Josh, sort of a knitter, are planning another mystery knit-along. And it just sounded really interesting. I mean, the fact that Fiona's dyeing the yarn and Josh is designing... Did she say it was a shawl? It's a mystery, so... But I think it's a shawl. Now, what nearly scared me off doing it was when she said it's really way out. And if you think of... what's the other guy? Brain dead. West? Yeah. What's his first name? Sorry, my brain's gone dead. Anyway, the guy West, who does all the outrageous shawls. She said, think of him on drugs, I think she said. I don't know what she said. I just got intrigued with the way she said it. Anyway, she said, think of that outrageously, and he's already outrageous, that's what this shawl is like, or this mystery is like. So that was enough to make me think, no, I don't want to do this. But then she showed all the colourways that she's making it in. And there are 2 that I adore. One was the rainforest photo that's in greens and browns, and of course that's a lot like what I've just bought. And the other was with purples and yellows and orange, which I think are a gorgeous combination. So, I've got to decide now, am I going to do it? Am I going to spend another $80? $80 includes all of the yarn and the pattern. Am I going to do it? It doesn't start till the end of June, because the idea of the knit along is the end of Knitpocalypse. So it's something that lots and lots of people are going to be buying the kit from her while she's at Knitpocalypse, and they'll all be starting it when they leave. So that's the end of June. So I'll definitely be finished Laura Nelkin's mystery whatever by then, but I have to decide now, am I going to buy the yarn? Don't know. I can hear Anuska saying to me, no, Joyce, don't. Thanks, Anuska. Don't know that I'll listen to you, but we'll see. All right, I think I've raved on enough. I think I've told you everything. I'm just looking through my list because I jumped around and didn't say it all in order, but I think I've done it all. So this is a shorter episode. Hopefully it will upload without any difficulty and you'll all be able to get to watch it without any trouble. Oh, and did you notice I've put my dream bird up on the wall? Don't know that I like it like that. Don't know, maybe I'll swing it up higher, pin it up there higher. Don't know. It's not showing up as bright as the other one did. Give me your opinion. Tell me what you think. I love it. Oh, excuse me. Better not do that again. I love it. I just don't know that it's showing to its greatest possibilities there. So we'll see what we see. Okay, that's it. I'm not going to rave on anymore. So until next time, remember, she'll be right, mate. Bye.